come join me today? This Scorpio new moon is a threshold, a moment of descent, truth-telling, and reclamation. In this episode, we're entering the underworld themes of Persephone and Hekate, not as mythology, but as a mirror for your own life. This is the new moon that pulls you inward, not to break you, but give you something back. Tonight, we're exploring the deeper story behind this lunation, opening the circle together, pulling an oracle card for the collective, and moving through a ritual to help you reclaim the truth you're ready to rise with. This is your Scorpio new moon initiation. Let's begin. Hi, cutie pie. Can you lay down? Sit. Oh, there we go. There we go. You lay down? Good boy. Hey, friends. Welcome back to the Song Witch podcast. I'm so glad you're here today. Before we step into anything mystical or emotional, wherever you're listening from, whether it's your car, your kitchen, the forest, your altar, just let your shoulders relax a little, and let your breath soften. Let your body arrive in this moment. This time of year always feels quieter to me. It's not heavy, but it's just gently inward. Like life is dimming the lights a little so our inner voice can speak up. And with the Scorpio new moon, that inner voice has something real to say. This lunation pulls us toward truth, not in a harsh way, but in a way that asks us to stop running from the parts of ourselves that want to come home. It's a night of reclamation, shadow softening, I love you too, and choosing honesty over fear. You know, there's something about these late autumn days that feels like a warm invitation back into ourselves, just to remind us to reconnect with what's real. So as we settle in, let this feel like lighting a single candle, simple, grounded, steady, a reminder that even in the dark season, there's warmth inside us. Take one more easy breath with me. And now that we're here, let's step gently into today's episode with a little mini witch wisdom to guide the way. Shadow work isn't about digging into darkness. It's about reclaiming the parts of yourself that you left behind. There's nothing to fear there. We talk about the shadow like it's a place full of monsters, but really it's a place full of memories. Moments you didn't have space to feel. Truths you weren't ready to hold. Strength you weren't ready to claim. Nothing in your shadow is against you. It's simply waiting for you. Waiting for your presence, waiting for your honesty, waiting for your breath. And the beautiful thing is, the moment you turn toward it, it softens and it steadies. It shows you exactly what you've been needing. So as we move deeper into this episode, just hold this thought gently. Your shadow isn't a descent. It's a return. A return to the voice you quieted, the boundary you needed, the power you put away, the self you outgrew but never stopped being. There's nothing to fear there, only something to reclaim. Hold that with you as we step into the cosmic story. There's a moment right at the threshold of every Scorpio new moon where the world feels a little quieter but heavier somehow. Like the air is holding its breath. This is the part of the lunar cycle where we're asked to step into the dark, not as punishment, not as exile, but as initiation. In this month, the story that keeps echoing through me is the one of Persephone. Not the victim version that we're taught, but the deeper one. The one where she chooses, the one where she becomes something more than who she was above the surface. Persephone wasn't taken so much as summoned into her becoming. And Hekate was the one holding the torch, guiding her across thresholds, through shadows, into the power that was already hers. When I look back on my life, I can see that Scorpio has been initiating me all along, long before I ever even had the words to describe it. And with my North Node in Scorpio, it makes sense that my life would be filled with transformation after transformation, constant deaths and rebirths, shedding skins I never meant to outgrow. I used to think everything kept falling apart for no reason. You know, the identities that dissolved, the beliefs I had to release, the relationships that reshaped me, and the dark nights that cracked something open inside me. And the more I sit with my story, the more I realize something that still startles me with its truth. I've been living the Persephone journey my whole life. Persephone is the queen of the underworld and the goddess of spring, the embodiment of light and shadow. She's the daughter of Demeter, and her myth tells of an abduction by Hades. But beneath that lies the deeper truth, a descent that turns her from maiden to sovereign, from innocence to wisdom, from surface to depth. She's the archetype of descent and return, of death and rebirth, a guide for anyone navigating shadow work, metamorphosis, or the reclamation of personal power. I've been feeling her story in my bones lately. The sudden descent, the becoming in the dark, the rising stronger than before. There were seasons when I felt taken by my own underworld. Grief, loss, identity shifts I didn't choose. Times I returned changed, not because I wanted to be, but because I had to be. Cosmically, Scorpio asks us to dismantle the illusions we've outgrown, to shed the masks and the roles, the old agreements. And through all of this, Hekate, guardian of liminal spaces, stands at the crossroads with her lantern. She doesn't drag us. She doesn't judge us. She simply illuminates the path when we're ready to walk it. This is the heart of Scorpio season. It's a descent, a thinning of the veil between the worlds, a crossing. It's Persephone's myth in real time. Every autumn, the veil lowers, the light softens, the world quiets, and Scorpio pulls us inward, not to punish us, but to transform us. And in the oldest stories, Persephone does not descend alone. Hekate meets her at the threshold, torch lifted, guiding her into the places where fear becomes truth and truth becomes power. Hekate is the witness of all things hidden, the keeper of the shadow path, the one who teaches us that we can walk through the dark with sovereignty. And when I look back, I can see her in every descent I've ever lived, even long before I knew her name. Leaving the church at 13, that was my first underworld. I didn't know it then, but it was a death. It was a shedding, a doorway. And the version of me who rose afterward was someone entirely new. Relationship endings and identity breaks. Every loss brought a truth. Every death brought a rebirth. And that's the Scorpio North Node curriculum, the Phoenix path. Burn, rise, until the soul becomes undistracted. My health collapses were descents of another kind. The body saying, go inward. And when life slows, your shadows catch up. And again, she was there, not fixing, not saving, but guiding, teaching boundaries, teaching presence, teaching me how to hold myself through uncertainty. My spiritual awakening was another descent, chaotic, overwhelming, disorienting, but now I see it clearly. That wasn't collapse, that was initiation. Scorpio calling me deeper, and Hekate at the inner gates whispering, you're not losing your mind, you're remembering your magic. And now there's this version of me, the witch, the mystic, the guide, the storyteller, the one who doesn't just endure transformation, but understands it, honors it, and lives it. When I look back at the path behind me, I feel her presence saying, you were never lost, you were crossing over. The Scorpio New Moon feels like a culmination, a gathering of every descent I've ever lived and every truth I've learned in the dark. It feels like I'm not just walking a new path, but I'm finally understanding the ones that I've already walked. So this lunation becomes a descent into the self we've been avoiding, into the feelings we've intellectualized, into the power we've been afraid to claim, into the shadows that in truth have been trying to hand us our wholeness. Because that's the thing we forget about the shadow. It's not where our brokenness lives. It's where the parts of us we abandoned are waiting to return. The shadow holds the boundaries that we never learned to set. The grief we didn't feel safe to feel, the intuition we ignored, the anger meant to protect us, the power we dimmed to stay small. The shadow isn't trying to swallow us. It's trying to give us back what we lost so we can finally become whole. And that's why Scorpio takes us inward, not to punish us, but to help us retrieve what we left behind. And like Persephone, we don't stay in the dark forever. We go there to transform, to gather the pieces of the soul that we abandoned, and to rise with more sovereignty than we've ever held. This is the underworld moon, the moon where the veil thins inside of us. The moon where we say, I'm ready to stop running from myself. And when we rise as both, light and dark, innocence and depth, Persephone and Hekate, witch and queen. This is the magic of Scorpio. This is the initiation of the new moon. And this is where your power waits for you. Take a slow breath with me. Settle into your body and into the Scorpio new moon, the doorway of descent and renewal. Before we pull our card, let's open our circle together. I call in the east, air, clarity, insight, the breath that helps us hear what wants to be revealed. Yes. Air. I call in the south, fire, courage, transformation, the flame that protects and purifies. I call in the west, water, intuition, emotion, the deep currents that guide our inner work. I call in the north, earth, grounding, body, the steady foundation. I honor the realms above, the cosmos, the sky, the unseen guidance that illuminates the path. I honor the realms below, the ancestors, the roots, the ancient wisdom that steadies the soul. I call in the space within, my breath, my inner truth, the temple of my own becoming, and the space without, the world around me, the energies that meet and support this moment. And I call in the center, spirit, the thread that connects all things, the presence of Hekate, keeper of the keys, guide of thresholds, witness to our transformation. Our circle is open, our path is lit. Let's see what this new moon wants to show us. So today I'm going to draw a card from the Oracle of the Hecatean Path by Ken Payne and Chris Butler. Take a slow breath with me. Letting the elemental energy we just called in settle around you and within you. The circle is awake, your intuition is awake, and now we open the space for the oracle, not to predict your future, but to mirror the truth rising inside you. I'm going to pull a card for the collective, but if you have a deck nearby, you're welcome to pull with me. If not, you can just listen and feel what resonates. Let your breath soften, and when you feel ready, let's see what message wants to come through tonight. This one really wanted to come through. It was jumping out. Ooh, it says bondage, cords. Interesting. Well, before we get into a discussion about bondage, let's throw some mugwort on the fire here. So it's for strength, psychic powers, protection, and prophecy. It's all spongy. It's kind of like moss. Throw some of that on top of there. Get back here. Yes, perfect. We need some good smoke to fill the air and cleanse the space before we dive into bondage. All right, so the thing I'm thinking of is, Scorpio and the underworld, and, sometimes our shadow side can feel like some type of bondage, like we're, tied down, I don't know, like we're chained to our shadow or something, like it's a negative thing, and it doesn't have to be like that. I'm here to help you turn that frown upside down. I want to help everybody understand that it doesn't have to be like that, because I thought that too, and I've done the work though over the past 10 or so years, 10 or more actually. I've done a lot of shadow work, and so I get it, I understand, and having done all of that work, I can tell you that it doesn't have to be scary, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. We can change this narrative about the shadow. It's got a bad rap. And it doesn't need to. See if I can do some divination with smoke. Let's read the book. 36. Bondage. Oh. Well, that's like in German or something. Hopefully yes, okay. There is an English section. 36, cords, bondage. Whilst moderation and restraint can be advantageous, what we need to avoid is becoming trapped. We may feel our hands are bound, but who tied them? Did we make a promise we feel obligated to keep? When we look around, we can find the answers to release us. But we must first identify the source of our captivity, for we are often our own captors. You may feel helpless and blocked, or feel the time for purposeful inaction is desirable. So with this card, if you're feeling helpless or blocked, I think this card is a good one to look at, because if you follow the Hecatean path, she's always there to guide you. And I think as long as you follow the light, keep an open heart, keep an open mind, slow down, ground, take time to feel your body and your breath, you can let go of those cords. Because like it said, often we're our own captors. And we don't even realize it. We get stuck in these cycles of what we think we should do, or what society wants us to do, or what our family wants us to do. And we allow ourselves to be bound by those ideals, and they may not necessarily be ours. So it's time to look at those things within you now. That's what this moon is about. It's about looking inside at your shadow. Find those parts of you that have been bound. Set them free. Hecate's there to help you. I know it might sound childish, but I think it's good to remember how we were as children, when we had imagination and we made up our own games and role played. Those things were important as children, and I think we learned them as children to bring us here to this point, so that we can bring our imagination with us into adulthood and into real life. And I don't think we were meant to forget that. I think we learned it for a reason. Well, if you listened to I think 2 podcasts ago about Everyone's a Witch, I was talking about how everybody has these gifts, right? And how nobody's like special. Some people are more in tune with those gifts, but everybody has access to them. And some people just have to work a little harder at it. I don't know what the difference is, why some it's easier and some it's not, but everybody can do it. And I'm gonna do some mugwort again. Let's see here. Ooh. It smells sort of sweet, grassy, earthy. Oh my God, I hope my sprinklers don't go off. I'm gonna go open a window. I should have opened a window. Always open a window, because when you're cleansing, that shit needs a place to go. So you don't just want it all sitting in here stagnant. So let me go open the window. Be right back. I had to go get my blanket. If I'm gonna open the window, it's so cold. It's like winter already. This is a heated blanket. Wow. That's heaven to an old lady, I'm telling you what. We're going to LA this weekend for the Disclosure movie premiere. And I'm saying a verbal reminder to myself right now not to forget my electric blanket. I made the mistake last time we went to LA. I was thinking, it's warm. So I brought all like short sleeve stuff, shorts, and I forgot that they have AC, and it's fucking freezing. Anyway, okay, so let's look at this again. I've burned my mugwort. Let's burn a little bit. I think I still have I have quite a chunk of charcoal still. So let's try it. I also have some rosemary. And rosemary is to banish negativity and cleansing. So it's very potent. These two, as a mugwort and rosemary, is a little combo. Because you've got the protection, strength, psychic powers, and then you've got the banish negativity and cleansing. So then that, has the potential to just open up those doorways to spirit, as they say. So our card, bondage. Let's read it one more time. It's short. Whilst moderation and restraint can be advantageous, what we need to avoid is becoming trapped. We may feel our hands are bound, but who tied them? Did we make a promise we feel obligated to keep? When we look around, we can find the answers to release us, but we must first identify the source of our captivity, for for we are often our own captors. You may feel helpless and blocked, or feel the time for purposeful inaction is desirable. We talked about the helpless and blocked and a few things that we can do to try to get out of that state. And because nobody likes feeling helpless or blocked. Sometimes you just have to sit with it too. You know, there is that. There is that. Sometimes you have to sit with it and you just have to get comfortable with that feeling sometimes. And I think that's the only way to get through something, is to just flow through it, you know, accept it. Don't resist it, don't fight it, because the more you resist it, the stronger it gets. And then you're in a tug of war. You're in a fight. Yeah, I don't even know what I was saying. You know, but is it a time for purposeful inaction? You know, sometimes that's good too. Sometimes no action is an action. Sometimes no response is a response. And I think this is just saying that, we need to just really be our true, authentic selves. And we don't have to put on a show. We don't have to pretend, you know, we can just be. It's when we put on a show and we pretend, we start to bind ourselves. It's the older I get, the more I just don't care as much. It's kind of liberating, to be honest. I used to really care about what everybody thought. And, you know, I do to an extent. I'm human, but not like I used to. And it's so fun. Like, I love being me. I love my life. I love who I am. And there was a time when I couldn't say that. I will be honest with you. When I hit rock bottom, I did not love myself. And I remember realizing that. And it was sad. It made me sad for myself. It was, I think, you know, looking back, I feel like it was kind of an out-of-body experience I had when I realized that, because I felt like I was like the crone looking at myself, or I was the mother looking at myself, the maiden from the past, the young girl, you know, who was naive and trusting and hopeful. And I was sad for her. But I'm not sad for her anymore, because I've transmuted her pain into love, authenticity, healing. So if you feel helpless, hopeless, lost, blocked, like someone or something has bound you, you can get through it. I promise. If I can do it, you can do it. And life's so beautiful on the other side. And now, like, I appreciate everything. Like, before I was just negative, didn't like anything. You know, I thought I was a good person and I cared about people. When I was alone with my thoughts, I was unhappy, and it took a lot of work to come back from that, but the work was worth it. And I mean, sure, it was hard work. It was emotional. It was deep, you know, but it was worth it. That's shadow work. I went and I reclaimed what had been taken from me. Or you can look at it like the cosmic story, and I reclaimed, trying to say that my soul led me through all of these transitions. Like, almost like I chose it, you know, before I was even born. I chose these lessons, I chose this path because it was something that I wanted to learn. There were things that I wanted to learn. That's how I choose to look at it. I heard somebody who had a near-death experience explain it that way, and that made the most sense to me, so I just kind of stuck with that. But I don't believe that, you know, we're just put on this earth to suffer and others are blessed and favored. I don't believe that. I think we're all blessed and favored, and we make our own reality. Sure, for some of us, it's a lot fucking harder than it is others. And mine was hard. My path was very hard. It was fucking hard. It was hard over and over and over again. So many lessons. It was when I started to love myself is when everything changed. That was my death and rebirth. And when I got into spirituality, it changed my life. It gave me something to ground myself and use my imagination and to believe in something beautiful and something bigger than myself, something magical. And that is what got me through. And that's how I'm here today. This card is asking us to reclaim our sovereignty. It connects beautiful to the theme of returning to yourself, because if you let those chains of bondage go, then you can be who you really are, your self-expression. You can be free. So what part of you is ready to be seen again? Or what truth have you been avoiding that might actually set you free? Where is your power trying to return to you? Now hold that message gently, not as a warning, not as a demand, but as a soft truth your soul is offering you. Take one more easy breath. And with that, let's move into the ritual and give this insight a place to land in your body, your breath, and your energy. So I want you to hold the message from the oracle softly. Let it settle in your chest, not heavy, just present. A small truth returning a part of you coming home. Now take one slow inhale and let it go. We move now into the ritual space. So you can use whatever you have near you. If you don't have physical items, your breath and imagination are enough. It's all about intention. Here's what I'm working with on my altar. I've got some obsidian, but any stone works. And I've got a key, which is symbolic for Hekate, but anything that represents opening or transition will work. Oh, I have a bowl of water, but your breath, if you have no water nearby, will suffice. I have a black candle, but you can use any color, fire or LED. And then I have a sweet offering for Hekate. I'm using honey, but this could be sugar, a flower, or even a kind thought. I got spicy honey for Hekate because she's spicy. Now take a moment to gather what feels right, or simply visualize each step. Place your stone in your hand. Feel its weight, or imagine its steadiness. Speak softly. I face what's true with clarity and compassion. Let this be a grounding. Let it clear the noise. Now light your candle, if you haven't already, real or imagined. And watch how even the smallest flame shifts the space. Say, I illuminate what is mine to reclaim. Let the flame feel like a small lantern inside you. Dip your fingers in the bowl, or touch your hand to your heart and imagine a ripple. Say, I soften, I listen, I receive. Let this feel like remembering yourself. If you have honey, a flower, or a leaf, or anything symbolic, place it before you. If not, offer a kind intention. Something like, may what returns to me be gentle, may what rises be sweet. This is the sweetness after the descent. Now hold a key or symbol, or simply close your fist if you don't have one. The key represents choice, sovereignty, transition. If you don't have one, your closed hand becomes the symbol. Now say, I open the door to my next becoming. Let the line echo inside you. Now take one inhale, drawing your power back, and then exhale, releasing the old story. Repeat twice more. And now say, what is mine returns. Place both hands over your heart and let everything settle. Say, I reclaim myself with softness, with clarity, with courage. And it is done. Now feel the energy begin to soften, and when you're ready, we'll close the circle with gratitude. Take a gentle breath. Feel the energy of the ritual begin to settle. Not ending, just softening. We offer gratitude to every direction we called, to air for clarity, to fire for courage, to water for honesty, and to earth for grounding. Gratitude to the realms, above for subtle guidance, below for ancient wisdom, above for subtle guidance, and below for ancient wisdom, and within for your own knowing, without for the world that meets you here. And gratitude to Hekate, lantern bearer, guide of thresholds, witness to our becoming. The circle is released with love. The work is complete. The energy settles. The circle is closed but not broken. And it is done. Oh. Just a little tip. Always be sure to close your circle after you open a circle. It's good to seal in all that energy, and the act of doing it also helps your brain believe it more, and it's ritual. There's something to it. It's magic. Thank you so much for being here for the Scorpio New Moon, and thanks for showing up for your own reclamation. Thanks for walking this path with me with softness and with curiosity and with so much courage. If tonight's ritual spoke to you, or if you felt something stir, I would love to hear about it. Share your reflections, your card pulls, your moments of clarity. You're not alone in this work. And if you'd like to go deeper, don't forget to share this episode with someone who might need a little magic too. It truly helps the circle grow. Thank you for walking with the moon with me. I'm JoJo, and this is Song Witch, Alchemy for the Modern Mystic. Until next time, keep rising with the moon.